Time now to get things started with some Sunday studs, and it's this man's turn. Fabs, go.
Turns out Lamar Jackson's pretty good at football. How about that? Yeah,
Okay.
He's very good. Put up 33 fantasy points in a blowout win over the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, he has been every bit as good a draft value as Patrick Mahomes was last season. And oh, by the way, based on his numbers right now, he is on pace to break Mahomes' single-season record for fantasy points by a quarterback.
I heard that.
Now let's stick with the quarterbacks and go with another great draft value, and that's Kyler Murray. 26 fantasy points, nearly 27, career-high 3 touchdown passes in a game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We all kind of knew this was going to be one of those big-time fantasy bonanzas. Now he's got San Francisco coming up this week, which is a tough matchup, but right now, Kyler Murray has been better than advertised. Cole, he's the QB5.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And those career high for passing touchdowns with 3, I don't think that's going to stand
Nope.
for very long. Marcus, give me 2.
Let's start with Derrick Henry. You know, sometimes football can be simple. You have a big, strong running back against a bad run defense. You just give him the ball and get out of the way. And that's what the Titans did on Sunday, going against the second worst run defense in the league. For Henry, this was his best day on the ground since week 14 of last year when he went for 238 and 4 tugs against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Next up, Darius Slayton. And nobody started Darius Slayton except for Adam Rank.
He did.
Who shamed me in rehearsal when he showed me his lineup that had Darius Slayton in it.
Thank you.
34 fantasy points. This is the second time in 3 weeks that he's had 2 receiving touchdowns. That's the good news. The bad news is, one, the Giants are on a bye coming up this week. And after that, Evan Ingram's probably back, so a lot of those targets start to go away.
It was insider trading with Rank. He knew something that we didn't know.
Right?
Isn't that right, Adam?
You know what? Listen, I plead the fifth on that one. Let's pivot to Mark Andrews and talk about the tight end position, because we've been having trouble trying to find some values here. If you drafted anybody outside of the top 3, didn't get Darren the Baller Waller or Hunter Henry or somebody like that, and we've waited for Mark Andrews. This was his best performance since week 2, and this was against a team that we expected the Ravens to run on, but it was nice to see them go out and also throw the ball. Let's go to the New York team. We'll also follow suit with what Marcus was talking about. Talk a little bit about Golden Tate. Now, everybody had Golden Tate in their lineup. We expected this game going up against the Jets. This was very advantageous. And he did all this even though he lost a fumble as well. But Golden Tate looks like somebody you can count on. Even when Evan Ingram comes back, I think that could actually increase his value.
Now let's head on that side of the studio, because Akbar and MJD, they're going to give us a pair of Sunday studs. And Akbar, since you're wearing that red pocket square, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, it just matches the J's, you know what I'm saying? It's the 4s, you know. Those,
They can't see it, so
They
you gotta
can't,
tell
they
them
can't, they
back
can't
up.
see
There you go.
They can't see. Oh, hold on. I better
Don't
watch
pull
out.
muscle. Don't
Talk about a hamstring guard.
One of the baddest fantasy players in the world, and that's Tyreek Hill, and he did it in spectacular fashion.
I thought your hamstring was hurt.
You talk about coming off of, and making up for lost time. Tyreek Hill did that in this game. Back-to-back games where he's got 25-plus fantasy points. That's amazing. His speed, obvious on there. Nobody can stop him. But here's what's impressive. The 19 targets. That just tells you they trust him a whole bunch to give him that many targets. That hasn't been done since Tony Gonzalez. I mean, that's pretty good. Here's another guy. Amari Cooper. I want you to check this out. Look at this. This is a weird flex. Look at the plantar flex on that one. Did you see that? How he plantar flexed his toes like that? And then he Dorsey flexes on this one here. Look at that. I mean, that's just big time, prime time right there. Amari Cooper, 31 fantasy points in this game. I wish he would have did this when he was with the Raiders, you know, but he hasn't. Yeah, well, anyways, he's balling. He's balling out of control. This dude's a big time
It's
stud.
crazy. I'm going to talk about a guy whose hamstrings are working, unlike yours, because you're over here lying to people. Dalvin Cook got us out here balling. First of all, Fabs, you know, everybody knows I work for the Rams. We needed the Cowboys to win, but I had Dalvin Cook going, so I was hoping it was a high-scoring game, but the Cowboys didn't do their part. So I'm just happy Dalvin Cook went off. 31 fantasy points. If you drafted him, like I told you early in the year that he was going to have a big day, this system was going to fit him perfectly, you would be reaping the rewards, but I guess some people didn't listen. Next, let's get to the Ravens defense, and everyone knows the Baltimore Ravens defense has been on fire. They've been attacking. They got after Tom Brady. Now they're here playing the Bengals and a rookie quarterback, scooping scores. Marcus Peters, pick sixes. They are a violent defense,
You know him?
and they find a way. Yeah, I do. We actually drank the same water back at the crib. You know what I'm saying? The East Bay, it's off there off the Delta. He has a little bit of the Bay, but again, this defense is finding ways to impact games, especially with Lamar Jackson. I mean, this you just want a piece of the Ravens defense.
Let's kick off the return of Mo Money, Mo Problems, MJD. He was back on Friday, but that overseas trip, it did him well. So time now for that big reveal. Pull back out if you'd like to. There he is right there. Nice little spin. He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to do that.
How was that European vacation?
It was phenomenal. I mean, we talked about euros, we talked about pounds, we talked about all type of cash.
Okay.
But no problems, though.
How much did you talk about Darius Slayton? Because that's getting Mo Money, Mo Problems underway. What do you think about him?
This is the thing. The New York Giants are starting to find receivers. You let Odell Beckham go, Sterling Shepard gets hurt, and then you bring this guy Slayton. To me, this is Mo Money, Mo Money, Mo Money. All right, look, we tripping. We got to do this all over again.
Yeah.
We got to get more support.
You've been
here,
gone
people.
for too long.
Yeah, I have been. I guess we forgot what this was. But
They're
look,
rusty.
34 fantasy points. I picked up Daniel Jones and actually won my league because of it, and it was because of Darius Slayton. So hopefully we get a little bit better with the people here that are focused and ready to pay attention.
Okay.
Because it is Monday, Cole, and it's Mo Money, Mo Problems.
Okay.
And that's a money play.
Next up, we're going with the man who ran a 4.33 out of Georgia, Mecole Hardman. I used to love him because we share part of our name together, but he let me down.
Well, listen, this is the thing. You know, one catch, 63 yards, blazing speed, but there's too many weapons on this Chiefs team. So this is a problem for me, guys. No more problems.
No problem,
Cole.
no problems,
Get
no
him outta
problems,
here.
no problems.
Why not? He had been
This
gone
is
for
the-
2 weeks.
Yeah, he's been gone for, I don't know where he is right now. He's
Yo.
somewhere else.
Mo Nicole? You don't want
No,
Nicole?
listen, stop. I'm about to explain this. Too many guys out there. Tyreek Hill, Shady McCoy's on load management. You have all these other Travis Kelce. You got too many guys. There's not enough balls on the field for this young man to get off. But I love the way he accelerated because he made everybody look like they were standing still.
All right, next up, Green Eyes gonna miss ya. Randall Cobb, Mo Money, Mo Problems.
Listen, Randall Cobb is Mo Money, Mo Money, Mo Money. That's what I'm talking about. Now we're
Crisp,
back.
crisp.
Now we're
I like
back.
it. Okay.
And this is the thing. Slot receivers, right? This is what you want. Randall Cobb is one of the best at it. And I think as they continue to get their chemistry down with Dak Prescott, you'll see more of it, especially with the way Amari Cooper's balling. He's going to have to be the guy they're going to go to move those chains and get first downs.
All right, how about Kareem Hunt, Brown's debut? Fresh legs, MJD. Mo Money, Mo Problems.
Yeah. So again, this is a Mo Money, Mo Money, Mo Money. And I was concerned. I didn't play him this week. I have him on a bunch of teams. I didn't want to play him. I wanted to be conservative to see how they were going to utilize him. I like the way they're doing it. I think if you got him, you better put him in the lineup because they're going to be running the ball with both him and Chubb, and he could catch it out of the backfield. So, he'll be doing some receiver things for him as well. Dual threat, you got to have it. We got to do better, though, guys.
Yeah, we do. I was hoping you were going to say Mo Money in an English accent. What had happened was, Marcus, floor is yours.
Howard Jones once saying that no one ever is to blame. Howard Jones never lost by 0.3 points because he started the wrong wide receiver in his lineup. I am letting you know at whom you can point the finger for your Week 10 fantasy loss. Saquon? Say what? Saquon was playing the Jets. The freaking Jets. This was a slam dunk, but what happened was the Jets never turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. Saquon had 13 carries and not enough rushing yards to get out of coach. Can I cash my frequent flyer miles in for some fantasy points? Elsewhere, Bear down. David Montgomery was set for a big week against the Lions' run defense, but what happened was this Bear went into hibernation. Montgomery had just 60 yards on 17 carries in a favorable matchup. Let's just hope he wakes up before next spring. Down in New Orleans, you were feeling a cold breeze. Drew Brees, off a bye, at home against the Falcons. This was almost unfair, but what happened was the Falcons finally decided to rise up. The Saints didn't score a touchdown at home for the first time ever with Brees at quarterback. I guess it wasn't such a big, easy call after all. Elsewhere, Pascal was a rascal. Zach Pascal was the free agent fantasy wide receiver hero we all needed, but what had happened was Pascal turned out to be an anti-hero. The Colts passing game flopped, and Pascal caught just 2 passes for 26 yards. Sometimes you go from hero to zero. And finally, Brown did nothing for you. Without Corey Davis, it was A.J. Brown's time to shine. But what happened was, not much happened. The Titans had just 181 passing yards. Brown had 17 of them. Seems Tennessee had an offensive logistics problem. Fabs?
Thank you, my friend, and it's time for my Fast 5 waiver wire targets. At number 5, Derek Carr. He has scored 19-plus fantasy points in 2 of his last 3 games. This week, he's got the Bengals. They've allowed the most fantasy points per game to the quarterback since Week 6. He also has the Jets and Chiefs on his upcoming schedule. At number 4, Jack Doyle. This one's for you, Matt Money Smith. He scored double-digit fantasy points in 3 straight games. He's also scored a touchdown in 2 straight games. And about right now, we all could use a good tight end. At number 3, Jamison Crowder. I can't believe he's still available in 71% of NFL.com leagues. Guys, wake up. He has scored 19-plus fantasy points in 2 straight games, and the Jets have the 3rd easiest remaining schedule for wide receivers. Please go get him. At number 2, it's my pal Darius Geis. This is a reminder. He is expected to come back this week. The Redskins have run the ball 52% of the time since week 6. That's 3rd highest in the National Football League, and they also have the 3rd easiest schedule for running back, so Darius could end up being a fantasy postseason hero. And at number 1, yeah, you guessed it, Brian Hill. Devonta Freeman sustained a foot injury against the Saints. He did not return. Ito Smith is out for the year, already on injured reserve, and Hill could be the featured back against Carolina. They've allowed the 4th most fantasy points to enemy running backs, and those are my Fast 5 waiver wire targets.